All right, now, you know that session after lunch, yeah, where everyone's like really full and tired, just can't be arsed with it anymore? Yeah, we're on a little nana nap, don't we? Yeah, well, it's a bit of a tough gig going after lunch, but fortunately, I've chosen two speakers who will stop you falling asleep unless they deliberately put you under. And that's because, as well as excellent marketers with their own application response suite, which I use and really love, they're also seasoned stage performers, with Rob having a recent run at the Edinburgh Fringe and Kennedy touring the US. I've mentioned right at the beginning, you have to be a results-driven marketer. We have to look at what we do. It is about quality more than quantity, but results do get you more work, they get you bigger budgets, they maybe even get you a pay rise and so on. And often businesses don't use the most valuable assets that they have in their marketing, their customers. So today we're going to learn how to turn feedback into sales. I'd love to introduce you to Rob Temple and Kennedy.
Please stand up if you have ever owned a hamster.
Very interesting, quite a popular little pet. Okay, good, sit down for me now. And now please stand up if you are left-handed. Where's all my left-handed people? Please stand now. Not quite so many, lovely. Okay, great, have a seat.
Please stand up if you have Instagram.
Almost everybody. Okay, lovely, sit down. And finally, stand up if you would describe yourself as a little bit OCD. All the Instagram people again. Lovely, okay, great. Actually, this is very interesting. Finally, let's try this. Stand up if you are all four of those things at the same time. In other words, if you've ever owned a hamster, and you are left-handed, and you have Instagram, and you would describe yourself as OCD. If you are all four of those things, stand up now. Two?
It's not many, is it?
Not quite so many.
Not as many, because as expected, there aren't many candidates, perfect customers in this room for our brand new book, Instagram Marketing for Left-Handed Obsessive Compulsive Hamster Breeders.
No, that's not going to be a bestseller.
It's not.
In this room. You see, there's like 150, 160 people in this room, and we like to think that we're all very similar. We all love marketing, we all love Biz Paul, we're all here in Nottingham today for this event. But actually, there are lots of things that pull us apart. We know lots of things about lots of you, but we don't know one thing that combines you all. Like, we're all very, very different. Does that make sense? Now, the problem when you're trying to sell stuff to your customers is that even though you think you know them quite well, there's actually lots of things that separate them. We might think we have a customer avatar that perfectly defines the people that buy from us, but actually when you break it down, all of the people in our audience, all of the people in our customer base are very, very different.
Yes.
So, wouldn't it be easier if you could just read your customers' minds? If you just knew exactly what your customers want to buy from you, if you knew how much they wanted to pay for it, if you knew what their objections to buying from you were, if you knew what their hopes and dreams and pains and all of that stuff is, wouldn't that be easier? Well, fortunately, Kennedy, for the past 17 years, has been travelling around the world reading people's minds for a living. Now, we're going to quickly demonstrate this.
This gentleman here in the blue top, would you please stand up? Yeah, don't look around, you're not bloody invisible. Hi, what's your name? Any idea? Amir? Hello, Amir. Take your hands out of your pockets. I'll do the entertaining for you. Thank you, Amir. Amir, I'd like everybody, in fact, to join Amir, because I might switch him out for somebody else in a second, just to establish your self-esteem. I'd like you all to please think of something that you have purchased in the last 14 to 30 days. Think about something. It could be an impulse purchase, something you just saw on the internet, thought, I've got to have that. Or it could be something you had your eye on for a little while. It could be that thing. And if you have
think of something you bought.
Something you bought. Do you have something in mind, Amir? Awesome. Good. Amir, what's going to happen now is I'm going to have you write down, dicing with depth on this text. I'm going to have you write down whatever that thing was. The reason is, at the end of this, I'm going to show this piece of card to everyone to prove whether I'm right or I'm wrong. I want you to write it really clearly, so we can show it to everybody, even people at the back. Write it on top of that line next to the X. Once you've done that, this sounds weird, but fold it back exactly like that. And that'll make sense why in a second. Thanks, Amir.
This lady here, hello, what's your name? Abby. I'd like you to think of the price you paid for the item you are currently thinking of. So something you bought recently, think about how much that thing was. As soon as you've got it in mind, I'd like to write it on this piece of card on top of the line next to the X, nice and big and clear so people at the back will be able to see it, and then fold it up exactly the way I hear it.
For this next piece, we need somebody to act as our judge, somebody who's really honest. This gentleman here, do you know anybody? Would you please stand up where you are? What's your name? Ross. Where are you from, Ross? From Manchester, excellent. Ross, please empty your right trouser pocket, take out everything that's in there and put it on the table. Oh great, you've got one of those in there as well, fabulous. Okay. You never quite know. Thanks, Ross.
Ross, now that your pocket is empty, I'd like to go and meet our two friends in the audience and collect their two pieces of card in your right trouser pocket and then make your way onto the stage for me. And Amir's as well.
And ladies and gentlemen, as Ross makes his way up here, you're going to give him a round of applause. You're not going to only applaud him to make him feel welcome, you're also going to applaud him because it's not you. Ross, ladies and gentlemen. Ross, very welcome. Both pieces of card in your right trouser pocket, please. Put them both in there. And once they're in there, come a little closer. Very nice. You smell very good. Did you jog over lunch? Yeah. Ross, I'd like you to mix up both pieces of cards in your pocket.
Don't take too long, we'll get suspicious.
Excellent. Don't spam too much, Ross. Good. What's going to happen now, Ross, is we're going to eliminate one of these two people. Would the pair of you just stand up, if you don't mind? We're going to eliminate one of these two people because we don't have a great deal of time today, so I'm not going to read both people's minds. We're going to eliminate one of them. The way we're going to do that, Ross, is you're going to hand me either one of those pieces of card. The one you give to me is the one I'm going to tear up and destroy. That's the one we're not going to play with. The only one we care about is the one that stays in your pocket, Ross. Take your card out of your pocket, hand it to me. Ross, in the middle of the night, you're going to wake up screaming, wondering what would have happened if you chose the other one. Do you want to stick with this one to be destroyed? Do you know whose it is? Madam, tell me your name. Abby. Abby, where are you from? Bristol. Do you have a feeling right now that I'm currently destroying you? Or you're in Ross's pants? You think you're being destroyed right now? So sorry about that. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're in the game or out of the game? In the game. Confident.
He's praying he's out of the game.
Now to figure this out, I need to do this.
This does absolutely nothing, but it is a great photo opportunity.
Just not for me. The thing you purchased, was it an impulse buy or was it something you'd considered a little while? Okay, interesting. What's your favourite flavour of ice cream? Vanilla, that's your interesting. And where do you live? Are you single? Okay. Yourself? So, the item you're thinking of, did you consider it for a while or was it an impulse purchase? You considered it. I'm going to go with you. Have a seat. Yes, have a seat. I think. I might come back to you, so I might change my mind. Keep thinking of whatever the heck it is and how much it was. Yes. We're going to go with you. Please give a big round of applause. Come and join me right up here. Give a big round of applause.
Keep going, it's a long way from there. Amir, yes? Come over here for me. I'd like you just to stand over this way. Now, Amir, in order for Kennedy to read your mind, I have to place you into a heightened state of awareness. This is not the same as hypnosis. As I bring your hand in front of your face, I'd like to stare at the lines on your palm for me. As you stare at the lines on your palm and move in towards your facial notes, they start to become lower and place your hand onto your face. You can allow your eyes to close. Just allow your head to drift forward. Keep your hand stuck firm into your face. You listen to Kenji's voice now.
Amir, listen to my voice in the centre of your head as you imagine, if the thing you're thinking of, I want you to imagine the words spelled out in front of you. If it's made of one word, imagine that one word. If it's made up of multiple words, think about all those words and just focus on the first word. So if it's made of multiple words, think of the first word. If it's just one word, think of that one word. I want you to focus on that now. Amir, thinking of that word right now, in your mind, and I know this sounds strange, but mix up the letters in that word, mix them all up, and then focus on one of the letters near the middle now, but don't tell me it. Amir, tell me truthfully, yes or no, did you almost think of one letter, then change to another? No. Do you focus on just the one letter, yes? Because I initially got the letter M, then I got an N. Does that make sense? Is there an N in this word?
There is.
Okay, now put all the letters back in order, and think about where the N appears in your word. Bloody hell, that's not the first letter, is it? That's annoying. Okay, good. I think of just the first letter for me, Amir. Tell me yes or no, is that the letter S?
Yeah.
Flip that. Okay. Think of the second letter now for me. Just think of that. What's your star sign, Amir, do you know? Think of the third letter. Have we ever met before? You seem far too happy if you're good. Okay, keep going. The fourth letter now, please. And keep... fifth letter? Fifth letter again, please. Just focus on the fifth letter. And the next one. Are there more letters, yes or no? Thank you. All right. Think of the one after the, I think I got an R, so think the one after the R. Oh, okay, I'm going to do this. We're going to do a swap here now. Please take the card out of your pocket, hand it to me. Don't show anybody just yet.
And Amir, if you could take a deep breath in, open your eyes for me, remove your hand from your face and return to us now.
And that says all the things in the world, it's well, the word we're going for is Spider-Man. Can you, yeah, right? I can tell I'm looking at show them what I want. Spider-Man.
Now the problem with that is that reading people's minds is very difficult. But we can create the same effect with our customers. We can get to know them better. We can understand them better. And there's a really simple way to do it.
Rather than read their mind, you could just ask them.
Just ask them questions. Kind of like...
There's a lot of effort for bloody nothing, really.
You could just ask them...
That was 8 minutes. I could have just bloody asked them what he was thinking of.
Right, they wouldn't have been quite as impressive. Now, we could ask them what they're thinking of, kind of like a survey. Now, the problem with customer feedback surveys is, well, I got one for the other day. How do we feel when we get a customer feedback survey by email?
Boring. Really boring.
Because it's always like a million questions on a page. There's like 9 pages. That's like
9 million questions.
And they're always stupid questions. Like long essays where you have to type forever and you have to really think about it. Or how can you tell if you were extremely satisfied, somewhat satisfied, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied? They're stupid questions.
But one thing we do know is that we all love to give our opinions. Like if social media's taught us anything, it's that we all love to have an opinion about shit we've got no opinion about.
Like fashion.
For example. One minute.
So we think that surveys should be done differently. We think surveys are a really powerful tool to effectively read your customers' minds, serve them better, but at the same time, serve your business better as well. So in this presentation, we're going to be giving you a bunch of stuff that you can go and apply to your existing customer feedback surveys if you have them, and if you don't, you'll be able to create customer feedback surveys based on these principles.
Problem with surveys is generally, first of all, they've got lots of questions. And the first thing that happens when you receive an email saying, hey, fill out this survey, it's usually got lots of questions. And we believe a really good, effective customer service, or any kind of survey at all, is only any good if it gets completed.
Right.
If it's not getting completed, it's entirely pointless. So most of the time, when you look back at how many people here run surveys at the moment? So a few people, right? But how many of those questions that you have on your survey have you got as not required? Some, right? If they're not required, then why are we asking them?
So that's the first rule. Remove anything from your survey that you absolutely don't need to know the answer for. You see, surveys should have one core purpose. I run a survey not to gather some data that we can generally improve the business going forward. I'm going to run this survey to find out this specific piece of information in order to serve my business and that individual customer better. So the first thing to do is remove all of those unrequired questions, and then if you possibly can, strip that survey down as closely as possible to 2 questions.
Hang on. 2 questions.
2 questions. Just 2 questions, that's all you need. One of them is designed to get feedback on the thing that you have just done for the customer. The second one is to get feedback about what they want going forward. You see, most customer feedback surveys are only going retrospective. They're only looking back into the past. They're only looking at the thing that you once delivered. And that's only useful to a point. It's good to know whether or not that customer was happy or not, for sure. But apart from that, you don't really need to know each individual detail of each individual thing you did for them. You can pretty much now focus on, great, how can I take you as a happy customer and make you happier and sell you more stuff? Or how can I take you as an unhappy customer and follow up with some sort of customer service in order to make your experience of this better?
So it's 2 questions. A really good, high-performing customer feedback survey that actually does something for you, for your business, and importantly, for your customers, should come down to 2 questions. The first question is, what did you think of that thing we just done for you? So that might be the free thing they just downloaded from you. That might be the little product they just bought from you, the amazing service they just got from you. And we have a saying at Response Suite, which is, get people clicking, not thinking. And what I mean by that is, anytime you have a text box as an answer type, and even if it's just a single line, that means I've now got to engage my brain. Man, I'm busy. I'm really busy. I haven't got time. I'm busy doing all the things that I need to do to build my business. So I haven't got time to engage my brain. So I'm going to think, do you know what it is? It's a great question. I really want to help this company out because I like them. I love them. I think they're great. But I'm really busy. So what I'll do is I'll come back later. As we know in marketing, later is never.
Exactly. So all you need to do is ask the customer, how did we do, and give them simple options. That could be a 0 to 10 rating. How would you rate it? Now in your business, you can decide what you consider to be the threshold of good. So for most people, that's going to be if it's 8, 9 or 10, that's pretty good. If it's less than 8, we probably dropped the ball somewhere, we probably want to investigate that a bit more. But you can decide for your business what you're happy for the threshold to be. If you're in an industry of famously grumpy customers, you might want to lower the threshold a little bit. Whatever you want to do, you can decide what you consider to be good, what you consider to be indifferent, and what you consider to be bad.
So what do you do with them next? Well, if they consider, if you're getting a response which is bad in unsatisfactory, something you're not happy with, the next question that should display should be, oh, really sorry, how can we do better? And now,
you see, that would normally be an essay question as well. Right there. You would say, how can we do better? And you'd give them a big box where they can type pages and pages of what it could be better. Well, the salesman could be less rude, and this could be that. The truth is, you can probably work out what they were most likely to be disgruntled about and break it down into 4, 5, 6, 7 options. Put those there for them to select from. There's no need for them to be thinking of it on their own. The chances are, you know what they're likely to be complaining about.
And the great thing about that is now you can control that stream of consciousness, that thought process, and deal with them most appropriately. But of course, most of us are fantastic at what we do. You're really awesome and quite attractive. So what you're going to find most of the time is that people are going to rate you in that good batch, that good segment, which you might say is between 7 and 10 out of 10. So when that happens, that's an all-important second question appears, which is, that's awesome, what do you need help with next? And this is when it gets really, really interesting, because none of our customers are finished on their journey. Whether you're providing a product or a service or a software solution or a subscription, whatever it is, they all need help moving to that next bit.
What's nice about this is you're now taking the customer feedback survey and you're making it more interesting to them. Because now the survey is about them, and everybody likes to talk about themselves. They're less interested in telling you more about what you did, and more about how you served them, and more about what you could have done. They're now very interested, because you're now appealing to their direct interest, the thing that they like most, which is them.
So the question's pretty simple. It's like, which of these following options is your biggest challenge right now? That's question number 2 in this really important survey. As you can see, it sounds like it's going to be this big, massive thing. Feedback into sales. Ooh, it's really about simplifying it down. So now the second question is literally about positioning your different products or services as different solutions. How do we do it?
So let's give you an example. Natalie down here, content queen herself. Is that right there?
All right.
You've got I've done enough standing up and sitting down already. You've got a great content business doing content for people, so that would be things like, for example, one of your services will be editing and posting people's podcast episodes. There's a great service right there. So for example, that pain point, that struggle might be, I don't have the time and or the technical know-how
Or the interest
to edit and publish and post up my podcast episodes. On the flip side of that, you also do that for YouTube videos. So the second one might be, I don't have the time, the know-how, the technical knowledge, or the interest to post up and edit my YouTube videos. So that's a great second one. Third one, blog posts, exactly the same thing. So we've just taken 3 of Natalie's services and we've just put them straight into pain points that somebody can click, emotively say, I actually really struggle with this. Putting the words directly into their head, which is what we spend our careers doing. Putting the words directly into their head and making them express their pain through the power of copywriting as they're submitting your survey.
If, for example, there's a lot of people in here who manage social media for people. So an example of that is one of the pain points that we know our customers have is growing their following. So maybe you've got this kick-ass course which is about how to get a bajillion followers on the Instagram machine. Awesome, do that. So the first pain point you're going to speak to is, I'm really struggling to build my following on Instagram. But you also might have another program which is all about, I'm really struggling to get engagement. I'm posting some lovely pictures of me in a mankini, but no one's liking it. So
Yeah, because that's a problem with your engagement, not your content. Never mind, continue.
Rude. So you've taken me off the thing now. This is like unprofessional.
And then you have a big one.
And then I have a pain point, which is, I'm really struggling to get engagement on my content. Option number 3 might be, I'm really struggling to get people who are following me on the old Instagram, and I'm struggling to move them into paying customers. That's pain point number 3. 3 different courses. So if the person number 1 needs help with that course that you've got about growing your following, person number 2 needs that help with getting engagement, that's your engagement course, and person number 3 needs help with monetizing their social following, and that's that 3rd course you've got. What's really nice is what happens next.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about how we now follow up with each of those people individually. Because hopefully what you're starting to realise now, like, first of all, by show of hands, who has customers in their business who definitely haven't bought all the products or services from you that they absolutely could and should? That's everybody. Good. Excellent. So this is going to help with that.
Look at all those responsive customers.
That's the first bit. The second bit of this then is, okay, great, in that case, how do we take this stuff and how do we follow up with them in a better way? Now, I did ask Kennedy to put together a very sensible, very serious case study example of this that we can show you as a demonstration into the presentation before sending it to Paul. Did you do that?
I did do that.
You did. Fabulous. Go ahead, this. We're going to
Don't put it up just yet, because I just got to set the scene as to what my sort of thing is like. So I was thinking, it's a lovely sunny day in Nottingham.
Is it?
It was when I wrote the presentation. It was a lovely sunny day, actually in Newcastle. Well, I was in Newcastle. All right, so it's a lovely sunny day in Nottingham, go with it. And I thought, of all the things people in Nottingham, these nice folk here, Market Drive 2019, would like, would be for me to have a fruit juice stand. So I have like a fruit, I've just realised something. Can you say the word fruit? You're going to try this in a second. Say the word fruit, but instead of thinking that there's a U and an I in the middle, and you say the word, like a...
I wish this wasn't you and I right now.
Go with this, this is good, It'll create a little bit of happiness. If you ever feel a little bit sad, ever in your life, it's a little bit of self-help now, gather me. It's not time to do it, you tell all the cops on the end, I'm like, what's going on? If you say the word fruit, like an ooh sound, like it's a double O in the middle, why not put smile? We're all going to try that now. So instead of the word fruit the way you do normally, imagine it's a double O. 1, 2, 3, fruit. I have a smile.
You did it as well.
Anyway, sorry, yes. So we'll have a fruit juice stand, And I had my special fruit juice of the season that I went for was melons. Melon juice. So I've gone for melon juice as my special for this week. And I'm going to send a survey out. Now I'm saying it out loud, it sounds a lot less good.
The melon juice survey.
The melon juice survey to people who bought all my melon juice. And I'm going to survey them to find out which other juices they might like to buy in the future. Please bear with us.
This is the survey that we put together to show these lovely people at Market Life.
At Market Life, yes. Great. So, Kennedy's Fruity Smoothies. Question 1, what do you think of my melons? Choose between 0 and 10. So that's the feedback, retrospectively, on the thing that we thought it was nice.
And Chris Paul's going to send this out to you all afterwards.
You'd be pleased to have a survey about this. This is good. No, you don't send a survey out. They don't have my melons. Question number 2, which of these fruits would you like me to make smoothies from in the future? And so this is my future, my next one. Option number 1 is I love banana. Number 2 is I'm all about the peaches. And 3 is give me the kumquat.
This is taking a very dark direction.
Yes. So that's the 3 options we've got. So now I've got all the people who love my melon juice, they thought it was lovely, and now I'm finding out how much they liked it. Obviously, if they thought it was a bit rubbish and not very juicy, we would have shown them, oh, what's wrong with my melons, after we've shown them. But in this case, we're going to assume they thought it was fabulous, because it was freshly squeezed this morning, and we're going to ask them which future juice they might be interested in. Great news! If the people who say, I love banana, they click that, and because I've integrated my survey with my CRM, Magical Arrow, they receive all of my email campaigns about banana juice recipes with that famous juice. It's not the one you always go, never put that in the juicer again, but it makes it all murky. So all my banana juice recipes. Whereas all the people who said they're all about the peaches, they get my peach juice recipes, hurrah! And finally, the kumquat people, they get my kumquat recipes. What's really nice is my banana people haven't told me they like kumquats. They may hate kumquats. They might be allergic. So I'm never going to tell them about the kumquat recipes. Never.
Now, what all of this means is, as we pointed out at the beginning, we know lots of things about all of you. We know that some of you have Instagram. We know that some of you are left-handed. We know that some of you once owned a hamster or do own a hamster. We know that some of you would describe yourselves as OCD. By gathering that information, we now can have a lovely little segment in our audience for all the people who are left-handed. We only promote stuff that's important to them. Or if we know that somebody has Instagram, we only promote stuff to them. If we know that somebody is OCD, we only promote stuff to them. It doesn't matter what it is that you sell or who you serve. Your audience is not made up of a load of people